Hello friends, in the previous videos we observed two aspects. First, the term called chemical and physical equilibrium. Second was the mathematical aspect of chemical equilibrium, that is expression for Kc, that is equilibrium constant. Today in this present video we shall talk about the various features and the significance of chemical equilibrium as well as equilibrium constant. Now what does the term equilibrium mean? First of all, just remove one thing from your mind. At equilibrium, only the rates of forward and backward reaction become equal. Understand one thing, that the concentrations of reactants and products do not become equal. The term equilibrium does not mean equal. It only means that the reactants and products both coexist. Equilibrium is a state of coexistence, साथ में रहना, being together, being at the same place together. It's something like this: evil as well as good both survive together in this society. In the same manner, reactants and products both survive at equilibrium. Chemical equilibrium deals with the fact that it can be achieved from both sides. These features have been discussed earlier as time proceeded. Let us now look at the features of equilibrium constant. Having finished off with the features of equilibrium, let's move our topic further to equilibrium constant. Equilibrium constant Kc has nothing to do with initial concentration. Now what do you really mean by this? Suppose for a reaction A plus B giving C, concentration of A and B are 5 molar and 4 molar. This is a random selection. This is not some kind of established truth. Kc, suppose it is 2 into 10 raised to minus 2 at that particular time, right? Then even at some any other concentration for that same reaction at the same temperature, I again repeat, for the same reaction at the same temperature, it will remain the same. That is 2 into 10 raised to minus 2. Again, it does depend on the way in which the reaction is conducted. When I say the way, it depends upon the way the reaction is written, that is the direction of the reaction. If for A plus B giving C, Kc is the given value 2 into 10 raised to minus 2. If I reverse the reaction, that is C giving A plus B, then obviously the value of equilibrium constant will be the reciprocal of the earlier one. That is, it will be 1 upon 2 into 10 raised to minus 2. Yes, you may recall one thing very clearly. In all the discussions so far, in every case so far, we have always been insisting on the term called temperature. Every time we come to a discussion, we talk about temperature. Hence, Kc does depend on temperature. It will change with temperature. Look at this equation. This equation is known as a Van't Hoff equation. Carefully observe. Ln K means log to the natural base of equilibrium constant. Delta H is nothing else but the enthalpy change. The term enthalpy has been discussed in detail in the chapter called thermodynamics. You may refer to the video related to that in thermodynamics. The link will be provided to you. If you carefully observe, in the equation, temperature occurs in the denominator. This basically means that ln K will depend on temperature inversely. But again, it depends upon the sign of delta H. You might say, what is the sign of delta H here? It is negative. No, it need not be always negative. For an exothermic reaction, delta H will be negative. For an endothermic reaction, it will be positive. You may recall linear equations in a single variable. If I have something like y equal to mx plus c as an equation in which y is plotted versus x, then the slope of that line is m. Here, if I plot a graph of ln K versus 1 upon temperature, it would look like this. Look at the nature of the graph. If by any chance this delta H would be positive, then the slope delta H upon R would be negative. Could you think of the nature of the graph? It will be as shown here. As you can see, the graph is a downward graph, it has a negative slope. Observe the value of the slope. It is minus delta H upon R. At times this can be called as delta H naught also. In the same manner, if by any chance, if this would be an exothermic reaction, in that case delta H will be negative. Minus of that negative will be a positive value, and the slope minus delta H upon R will be positive. This will be an increasing graph, as you can see here. The slope will still remain the same, but it will have a positive value. Going a bit further, let's change our discussion. We'll talk about the Van 't Hoff equation. The earlier equation, if you take it for two different temperatures T1 and T2, we'll get two different equilibrium constants K1 and K2, and the equation will be of this nature. You can do a bit of pencil work. You simply take the two equations and subtract them, that is ln K2 and ln K1 with respect to T2 and T1, if you will get this exactly same equation. This you can use it for problem solving. Understand one thing, that this expression for equilibrium constant is applicable if and only if those concentration terms are substituted at equilibrium. Random concentrations or concentration at any time cannot be used for this expression. Let's go a little further. The value of equilibrium constant tells us the extent to which the reaction proceeds in the forward direction or the reverse direction. Look at these two equations, and let's look at some manipulations that we can do on each of these equations. Consider these two reactions 1 and 2. We have taken a case in which we are giving some manipulations to each of the equations. It's a revision of nothing else that we just spoke about right now, the impact of manipulations on the equilibrium constant. If suppose by any chance we reverse the first equation, in that case the equilibrium constant will be the reciprocal of the earlier equation. Again, suppose we multiply the first equation by some factor. Let's say we are multiplying it with 2. We are multiplying this with 2. In that case, the equilibrium constant will be raised to that particular power. By any chance, if I would have multiplied this with 3, the new equilibrium constant will be the cubic power of the earlier one. Suppose by any chance we divide this by a particular equation, say for example something like 1 upon 2, we divided this by number 2, we are multiplying it with half. The way in which in the earlier case when we multiplied with 2, it was raised to 2, this time it will be raised to 1 upon 2. By any chance, if I would have divided this with 4, it will be raised to 1 upon 4. The new equilibrium constant will be the square root of the earlier. Let's understand equilibrium constant in gaseous system. Before I go further with this, I want all to be aware of a term called as partial pressure. Now you are aware of the term called as pressure. Pressure is nothing else but the force exerted by a gas on the walls of the container. But suppose instead of one gas, if I have several gases, say for example in a container I have hydrogen, oxygen and helium, they are not reacting with each other. If suppose by any standards I want to find or I want to pinpoint to the pressure only exerted by oxygen, then that pressure exerted by oxygen is called as partial pressure. So partial pressure is nothing else but the individual pressure exerted by a gas in a mixture of non-reacting gases. Let's look further. In case of a gaseous system, something like this, all the substances are gases. In that case, the active mass is the partial pressure itself. In previous cases, active mass was nothing else but molarity. This time, active mass is the partial pressure. Then, equilibrium constant is given by product of partial pressures raised to the power of the stoichiometric coefficients. Here, those small p's represent partial pressures. If you want to think of the relation between the term Kp and Kc, it is given by Kp is equal to Kc into RT raised to delta n. Now what is this R? R is nothing else but the gas constant, universal gas constant. What is the temperature? T is the absolute temperature. The terms are very clear out there. In case of numerical problems, you simply have to substitute these things and get the desirable answer. Let's go a little further. Look at the application of equilibrium constant. it can tell us the extent to which the reaction has occurred. Suppose equilibrium constant is really very large. What does that mean? It means that there are hardly any reactants in the system and lot of products. If by any chance, suppose the equilibrium constant is really very less, then that would mean that there are hardly any products and lot of reactants. Let's summarize that by means of these graphics. Look at this situation. Now here it means that there are a lot of products and very few reactants. This reaction goes to completion. In this case, Kc is really very large. Now 10 raised to 3 and something more than that, that's 1000. This means there are 1000 times more products than the reactants. Let's go further. In this particular case, you see there are hardly any products and very large amount of reactants. This means that Kc is very less. Reactant hardly occurs actually. This is something unpractical. In the industry, people would not like to have such kind of reactions. But suppose if you have equilibrium constant at an intermediate value, it means there are adequate number of reactants, adequate number of products, and they exist together at equilibrium. This was so far as the application of equilibrium constant is concerned to predict how far the reaction has occurred. Now we look at how equilibrium constant can be used for predicting a particular reaction. You may recall very well that the expression for equilibrium constant contained concentration terms only at equilibrium. Suppose we want to take concentrations at any particular stage of the reaction, then we come across a term called reaction quotient. Now reaction quotient has the same expression as equilibrium constant. You might think, why can't this be called as equilibrium constant? This can't be called as equilibrium constant for the simple reason that here those concentrations terms are randomly selected. They are concentrations at any stage. It's not just at equilibrium. Now what? Obviously, Q, that is reaction quotient, will be a variable. It can vary. It will not be a constant even at a particular temperature. Let's go a little further. Understand one simple fact. Every reaction proceeds towards the direction of equilibrium. You are aware of it. Suppose I take a hot body at something like 150 degrees centigrade. Keep it in the atmosphere for some time. A time would come when the temperature of that hot body will become equal to that of the atmosphere. What does this mean? This means that the hot body has tried to attain equilibrium. This happens with any physical and chemical process. Let's go a little further. Suppose by any standards, look at this particular condition. If the reaction quotient is less than the equilibrium constant, this means that the reactants are large, products are less, the equilibrium stage has not been achieved, so the reactants would like to react and form products. Are you through with that? This basically means that the reaction proceeds in the forward direction. But suppose by any chance, if Q is more than K, what does that mean? This means that there are a large number of products, they have already crossed the stage of equilibrium, they are more than what you expect to be there with respect to equilibrium. So what would happen? In this case, the products would react, they would interact, and they will give rise to reactants. So the reaction proceeds in the backward direction. I again repeat, Q less than K, reaction proceeds in the forward direction. Q more than K, reaction proceeds in the backward direction. But suppose by any chance, by God's grace, if Q becomes equal to K, what does that mean for us? This means that we have already achieved the state of equilibrium. I suppose the idea of reaction quotient, equilibrium constant, its dependence on various factors, its mathematical ideas are absolutely clear to all of you. I believe this video was very helpful to you in clearing those concepts. Thanks everybody. Please see to it, subscribe this channel and recommend this to all your friends. Thanks everybody.